Investigators say they have a suspect in the Delphi murders, but questions remain tonight. We got a mugshot, but we didn't get many court documents. In fact, we didn't get any court documents about this suspect. We're going to take a look. Bob Siegel will be along here in a moment. Emily Longnecker will be along. We're going to talk about this big case that is really captivating Central Indiana, isn't it, Felicia?
Yeah, you said we don't know a lot. We don't really know anything. We know that we have this arrest.
Yeah.
And so, but Emily's questions, I think, will be a lot of questions that viewers have at home. So definitely stick around for that.
That's coming up.
But first.
First is the weather. So the rain is now moving out after trick-or-treating is over?
Moving out. But, you know, actually, the heaviest really did start to wind down as trick-or-treating hours ramped up.
Okay.
So, which was good news. Now, that the pavement was still wet and it was still kind of damp, but I think the majority of trick-or-treaters ended up being A-okay this evening. As long as you waited the rain out, that the steadiest fell between 5 and about 6:30 this evening. Live Doppler 13 radar, we've got this in motion over the last hour, and there's some of that steadier rain moving out now into parts of western Ohio. So we're in the clear. The clouds are still around, and the threat for low clouds, fog, and drizzle will linger through about the morning drive, and then we're going to clear it out from west to east. So don't be surprised if you still run into a wet road or two early tomorrow, but you're not going to need the umbrella. It's just going to be a little drizzly maybe to start. We break into some sunshine midday, 60, and forecasting 65 to 70, and I have a lot of 70s in the 70s. I mean, a lot.
First week of November, 70s?
I have more 70s than I have anything else in the 70s.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. It's like music to my ears.
Yeah, I mean, and when you're staring down maybe record warmth on a Saturday and it's Monday, you're like, okay, when's the weekend coming?
My goodness, that sounds awesome. All right, we'll get more from Angela coming up in a moment. We're also going to be hearing and seeing one of the best stories that Chuck Lofton has ever done. That's coming up tonight as we begin to look at his Chuck's Big Adventure. It's taking place out in New England. All right, let's go ahead and turn our attention to our top story tonight. So we had all of this anticipation, Felicia, of this news conference today in Delphi to learn finally this information from state police about the Delphi murders. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And today they said, here is the picture of the suspect, and that's about it. This is what we got today. We got the photo of Richard Allen called a suspect by state police investigators. Now, typically we get court documents that connect the suspect to evidence, and then we can go ahead and lay that out. You know that we've been following this story since February of 2017. These two girls, these friends, Abby and Libby, killed in Delphi. Their bodies discovered a day after Valentine's Day, and we have all been waiting and trying to find the person who did this. So state police came out today and said, yes, in fact, Richard Allen, 50-year-old Richard Allen, a Delphi resident, is a suspect. And then when we asked more questions, hey, can we see the court documents? What evidence do you have? Nothing. It's under seal. It's going to stay that way for 30 days. We're just going to have to be patient. So in a moment, you're going to hear Bob Siegel talk to some experts about why it's under seal and is that even allowed. But for now, let's go ahead and hear from Emily Longnecker, who talked with the state police superintendent and asked him the questions that you want to hear.
Do you think Mr. Allen is the man on that bridge?
The judge signed a probable cause affidavit for the arrest of him. I can't wait to tell the story, but today's not the day.
When do you think you can tell that story?
We're going to let the courts decide.
In other words, let them decide when they can release that PC.
Well, and then even then, remember, even then, when the PC is released, due process is still a piece of all this puzzle. And this isn't over until it's over. And that's with the conviction of him.
Are you confident this is your guy?
The judge signed the probable cause affidavit for the arrest of Richard Allen for 2 counts of murder. Yes.
Do you think there are other people involved?
I'm not going to go there.
There's still speculation out there that investigators should still continue to look, even though he's passed away, at Ron Logan, where the bodies were found.
We're going to keep doing what we've done until there's nothing left for us to do. We're going to keep doing it.
I was looking back at my old notes from
So there's the head of the Indiana State Police, and we're not really getting much in the way of information, Felicia, in terms of this suspect.
Yeah, I got to tell the folks at home, this is one of the most frustrating things as a journalist, to not be able to report news because we don't have news or information. Obviously a little bit, but I mean, you can imagine this is something that was probably very frustrating for them as well. Of course, keeping the family in mind with that.
Right.
When you think about it, it's just 5 years. When you listen to this exchange with him and Emily Longnecker, you can tell there's still a lot of information that they're not telling the public.
Right.
At the end of the day, we all want the same thing, which is justice for the family and, of course, a safer community. I know that community and the family, it's been hanging over their head for so many years.
Right,
so
right.
to get one step closer is a step in a positive, is in a better direction, in the right direction. But I think we all just want more. So
at 11 o'clock, you're going to hear from family there in Delphi, and they're going to give their reaction to this announcement of this suspect who was arrested last week and made a court appearance without reporters allowed inside, which that doesn't happen very often. So Bob Siegel he wanted to ask questions today, and so he filed this report as he takes a look at why they didn't provide us these court documents that we always get. Here's Bob.
Today's about Abby and Libby.
At today's press conference, the Carroll County prosecutor said he asked a judge to keep those documents under seal because the investigation is ongoing and investigators want more tips from the public.
For that reason and for the nature of this case, the probable cause and the charging information has been sealed by the court.
But that is troubling to some legal experts.
It is surprising.
Novella Needeth spent 2 decades as a public defender, and she now teaches law at Indiana University.
I can't think of ever hearing of a probable cause affidavit being held 30 days after an arrest was made.
The law professor says releasing probable cause information helps ensure due process for the defendant and allows the public to ask important questions. In this case, both of those could be in jeopardy because the whole case is essentially being kept secret. A hearing will be held to determine if the case details should remain under seal, but Indiana State Police say that could take a while.
All right, so Bob Siegel asking those questions that we are going to continue to ask. We're going to continue to press state police, trying to get information to find out what evidence connects Richard Allen to these 2 girls who were killed 5.5 years ago. So we're going to keep asking these questions because we know that that is what you want to know. And certainly that's our responsibility, is to ask these questions.
That's our job here. I mean, but just a massive story. This garnered national attention.
Sure
a lot of other news networks covering what's happening here in Indiana. So a pretty big story we'll continue to update you on.
All right, so we're going to make a big turn from our top story to a story that Chuck Lofton gathered for us while he was on his recent Chuck's Big Adventure to New England. And obviously today being Halloween, it's all about pumpkins, right? And candy. Chuck found that pumpkins in the New England area take on a rather unique role. Check this out.
Fall in Jackson, New Hampshire is quintessential New England quaintness.
It certainly is a big season up here. We've always been a hospitality town, lots of reason to come here and see the color. I mean, look around you, it's fabulous.
But fall color is not this town's main attraction. It's the gourd.
As if the leaves aren't enough to bring people up here. We started doing pumpkin people a very long time ago.
Pumpkins with personality.
Once pumpkin people came, then the traffic started.
Oh yes, they come from all over the world to see these.
You kind of don't know what you're getting when you come up.
Literally all over the world.
Oh my gosh, what's around the corner, you know?
For 38 years, the town's businesses have produced crazy, funny, marvelous exhibits made from pumpkins and gourds.
A lot goes into it, and it's the engineering. We had crazy frames and concrete fabric and PVC pipe, glue.
And he's got quite a schnoz on him.
Yes, he does. He has a gourd That's been quite the challenge. That's a gourd on top of a blue Hubbard. His whole head is a blue Hubbard squash.
A map helps guests meet all the pumpkin people, and there are a lot.
Yep, takes over the town.
Nearby North Conway, New Hampshire, has also joined the party. So the whole valley is now participating in this unique art form.
Is it hard to get businesses and residents to do this? It really isn't, because once they see the attention that they get, then they step up.
And there's prizes, from best of show to most relevant. Michelle and Kevin Pratt received that honor.
We always have issues with people hitting the bridge with their car, with a tractor trailer, buses, anything. So we decided to come up with him saying, only you can prevent accidents and collisions.
Hilarious things every year.
In case you're wondering, yes, the pumpkins do get soft and rot, so it's important to have a spare head ready just in case. In the meantime, Jackson's Return of the Pumpkin People is now a New Hampshire autumn favorite, and a highlight for visitors looking for something that isn't a leaf.
Goodbye to the pumpkin people.
Isn't that a great story?
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, just the customs and traditions of different areas,
Yeah.
which is why travel is so important.
And if you're interested in seeing more of Chuck's Big Adventure, go to WTHR.com. He did this beautiful story with his crew. Steve and Megan, the photographer and producer, they did this beautiful story on fall leaves in New England. Just spectacular.
The
It's just
sweeping
beautiful.
shots
Oh
of just
my
what
gosh.
it looks like.
They sent the drone up. It was amazing. So.
It's a good way to appreciate the weather change that we've been having.
point.
Yes.
Seasons change. You got to work with it, people.
Yes, and we're getting ready to move into another season, but it's not going to feel like it. I have lots of 70s in the 7-day. The only weather issue overnight and early tomorrow will be a little bit of fog, low clouds, and a little bit of drizzle. Otherwise, we'll get some sunshine tomorrow afternoon, 65 to 70.
Let's say hello to a lot of our folks here. Anastasia with us tonight. Tammy is with us. Glenn says little pumpkin and big pumpkin, so he's happy with that. Wes says, I want a pumpkin from there. Monica joining us. Joyce says, I love Chuck's Big Adventure. We all do. Sabrina joining us tonight. Donna, Bonnie, Carrie Sue joining us tonight. Ralph's with us again. Teresa, so many of us. It's great to have you with us. So
Who's
tonight,
all here?
Yeah, so tonight at 11, her 7-day forecast. We're going to be talking about our big story, the Delphi murder case and this arrest of this suspect, and a lot more when we see you tonight at 11 over on 13. Good night.